Hello, and welcome back, YouTubers. I know what you're thinking to yourself. Proto, you're reviewing a game that has been reviewed 1.5 billion times from 2009, The Sims 3. Yes, this is a core review of The Sims 3 due to the fact that YouTube felt the need to copyright my original review and say, hey, you're not going to make money off of it because of the background music. So y'all will have to suffer without the elevator music, but I think you will be just fine. So let's get to the meat and bread of this review. Firstly, let's address a few things. Since the 2009 release of The Sims 3, there was a port of The Sims 3 to the original Xbox 360, not Xbox One, and of course the PlayStation 3, where those versions are the most comparable and comparable to The Sims 3 on the PC, but please do note that there are massive gaping differences between them. I will first discuss the PC version, and basically you can assume that the console version is dumbed down to an extreme level. Firstly, let me start by telling you which companies developed and published this game. The Sims Studio developed it and Electronic Arts published it. So if you're not a fan of EA, you better start getting used to it if you want to play this game. This is based on the successful multi-million-dollar selling series The Sims, where you are controlling some avatars in a simulated life. Amazingly enough, this game sold 1.4 million copies in the first week. This game is available for multiple amount of platforms, I've already stated too, but it's also available through the Steam service, which is very weird since EA has Origin, but nevertheless you can get it through them if you really want. So, hey, there's that. But, of course, you can always just get the good old disc copy on PC, and after a quick installation, you'll be on your way. The gameplay is built upon the same concept as its predecessors. Players control their own Sims activities and relationships in a manner very similar to real life. The game is open-ended, and there is no definable moments, but, in the case that you are looking for definable moments, you can create them yourself. So whatever you feel is a definable moment can be. Your Sims can do anything from catching houses on fire to sleeping in your neighbor's house for no reason, and of course acting extremely inappropriately at work by slouching and watching TV instead of working. But there are multiple core differences between this and Sims 2. So first, let me address those with regular computers, because a lot of people who are just regular, everyday people don't have a gaming rig PC. They probably want to play this, or are playing this, or have still wanted to play it. So, The Sims 3 has a serious issue with its processing power. Running on normal, average PCs, it's not really the best. Even my very strong computer has trouble running this game at times. I'm not saying that you won't be able to get it running, but running it at ultra settings may be a little bit difficult. This may prompt you to get the console version, but remember, I did say there were a lot of core differences between the PC version and the console version. While you may have a nice hardcore PC rig, or a PC rig that you didn't buy at Walmart that will run The Sims 3 very well, you do need to realize that the main differences between the PC and the consoles are money. You're going to have to put a little bit of money into your PC to get this game running at optimal settings, but by nowadays standards it'll be a lot less. Point is, if you already have an Xbox 360 but not a PC rig that can run this, the odds are you'll probably just get the 360's version. So let me address those differences now. Firstly, the open-ended style gameplay is almost not there on the 360's version. Yeah, sure, you can make a custom house, but there's a lot less that you can put in the house due to the fact that the 360's version cannot load in so many objects. The same goes for the PS3 version, it's just a little bit more smoother on the PS3, so I'm addressing the worst of the two consoles. No offense, fanboys, but we all know the 360 is just a little less than the PS3. No biasm here, though. Point is, you're not going to have as good of time on a console as the PC. For example, there's story mode on the console, and there's things like ambitions and wishes to fulfill. And while these things are great and they progress the story, it's just not as fun. The whole karma thing kind of, if can go either way depending on what type of person you are, and it's just a dumbed down version of the PC. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back into it. The Sims 3's core gameplay mechanics will have you playing as a core person. You could choose a person that's already in existence, but I would strongly suggest that you make your own character and make your own destiny. Players can go into places like, markets, restaurants, jobs, and things of that nature, but they're again, still just rabbit holes. You'll never be able to go inside and see what's going on. You'll just have to imagine how much fun that is. The core differences between this and The Sims 1 and 2 is the fact that to get promoted, you no longer really need relationships unless the job demands it. Most jobs don't demand it, and therefore you don't need relationships to be at a good level to keep your promotion or get promoted. There are aspirations added, which again add to your career. Do you want to be a rock superstar? Well, once you achieve that, you've achieved your aspiration. You'll get aspiration points to unlock perks. Perks allow you to basically go without having to ever urinate ever again. Or perhaps you just really don't like taking showers. Don't worry about it, get the Dirt Defiant perk. Of course, there are other perks that are exceedingly more beneficial to you. For example, you may not have to eat, and of course, there are downloadable perks for extra little incentives for your aspiration meter to be filled. Again, moodlets do make a triumphant return. Keeping your Sims happy is an important part. As I said before, you can get the perks to where you don't have to use the bathroom, but in case you don't have that perk yet, don't let your Sim wet himself at a party. Not gonna put him in the best mood. So this game does include the feature like story progression, where you're going to be moving into a neighborhood and you're going to have to go through the life cycle if you decide that's your thing. But you can turn off aging if that is not your thing, and of course you have to avoid death as well. The easiest way to avoid this is to not do stupid stuff. If you don't know how to fix a garbage disposal, don't have your Sim sticking his hand in it. Again, the Sim introduces the custom creation for houses and things of that nature. If you want to really play around with that, that's great. There's the cheats that make a triumphant return as well. Skills play a big part, as I stated before. You can become a guitar player, a gardener, and this is just for the base Sims 3. Since then, there have been so many expansions added. So with a lot of expansions, you can be sure that you'll be able to take on several careers, like being an astronaut, a general in the military, maybe the best cook, firefighter, ghost hunter, and things of that nature. And of course, there are different towns and worlds to explore with the expansions. Build and buy mode are there, as I stated before, and of course, the game itself just ends up being a constant cycle. And that's the only problem with this game. The Sims 3 is great up until the point where you realize what you're doing is no different from your real life. Okay, so yeah, you can't really catch people on fire and murder people without going to jail, but in The Sims 3, it seems like if someone dies in your house, it's not a big deal. However, let's just face it, the monotony of everyday life can get to you, and The Sims 3 sort of turns into that after a while. Without the expansion packs, the day-to-day things will get boring. After you've maxed out almost every career there is, all your skills, and officially had sex with everyone in town, and divorced everyone in town, probably going to end up getting a little bit bored. Hence the reason you're going to need the DLC packs. But please, please, please remember, even though there's tons of DLC packs, some of them are better than others. For example, the Katy Perry DLC pack with Sweet Treats. I swear to Christ it exists, and I swear to Christ you probably won't want it. So please remember, if you're going to get the base game, you're probably going to want to get these DLC packs, and they can be quite pricey, running $20 a piece, and, well, there's almost 15 plus of them. You can do the math, guys. The base game itself is fairly cheap and can be bought off Steam on sales at about $5 to $10. But again, the DLC packs don't often go on sale, and it's hard to acquire them when they are on sale with the amount of money you have to still fork over for them. Overall, the Sims 3 experience is pretty fun and solid if you're willing to devote 200 hours into it. Just don't be depressed when you realize you've just been living someone else's life instead of yours. Thanks for watching, guys, and I give The Sims 3 an A+. It excels in everything that it does, even though it wasn't the first one to do it, considering it is the third one in the saga. A more perfect game couldn't be formed due to the fact that there is a lot of DLC out there, so if this game is lacking something, I'm sure you'll be able to get it off the DLC network. And if you're still missing it there, there's a large modding community that release mods for free to add stuff, so you may not even need the DLC. Overall, great experience, fun game, and I hope this revamped review helps you to revisit this game, purchase it for the first time, or enjoy it even better, even if it's on the console. Thanks for watching, and remember guys, I'm Protomario and I'm signing out, and happy gaming. I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and now time for a service announcement from the Maverick Army. Tired of the norm? Is it time for a revolution? Join the rebellion and become a Maverick today by subscribing to Protomario. Remember, together we can create a new world order of gaming. Mavericks unite. Please note that in all my videos, if I use images from Google, that I do not own any of those images, and all images obtained from Google are owned by their respective owners and copyrights. So please remember this when watching my Pokemon theories. Thanks.